Hello guys, and welcome to another video from Code Rhetoric with Tam Talk. I am your surgeon, Tam Talk, and today we're going to be talking about the basic dissection of an operative report. So today we will be constructing some surgery. So we have on our cap, our mask, and our gloves. So let's get into it. So I get this question all the time, and that question is, do I have to review the entire operative report? Yes, you do. And here's why. Because anything could have transpired during that operative session that will change the code. Oftentimes, many coders do a quick review of of course, the pre-diagnosis or pre-op diagnosis and the post-op diagnosis, and then look at the title of what the procedure is going to be, such as, and my favorite procedure is colonoscopy, right? Colonoscopy. And so what happens is they go in the mindset, okay, because they've seen so many colonoscopies that they just automatically assign a colonoscopy code, which, a typical standard colonoscopy code is 45378, which is just a look at the colon, right? But let's say that doctor removes a polyp, and then he removes it via hot biopsy. Okay, so that of course is going to change the code, because not only did he look, he's actually doing something. He's performing a hot biopsy. So we have to look at the entire note, because the doctor is not going to specify that in the title, again, because prior to him going in, or prior to her going in, it's just a colonoscopy. But once the surgeon actually gets into the orifice or into the body cavity, they're able to see more, and it may require more correction or removal or whatever it is that they have to do. So in this case, the surgeon is performing a colonoscopy, but he's also removing a colon polyp via hot biopsy, right? And of course, we're going to check the pathology report to see if the polyp was benign or malignant. That will also determine our post-operative diagnosis, and the post-operative diagnosis is the diagnosis that is actually assigned to the encounter, right? Because that is the diagnosis at the end. Okay, so what are the parts of an operative report? So of course, like I mentioned, we have the pre-operative diagnosis, our post-operative diagnosis. Then we also have indications, we have anesthesia, we have the providers or provider, like the main surgeon, assistant surgeon, co-surgeon, whoever is participating in the care of that patient during that OR or operating room session. Okay, what type of anesthesia? So it could be general, it could be local, it could be regional. Again, all that is documented. And then we have the consent. The consent is the part where the surgeon actually explains to the patient what is going to transpire during this encounter. Because keep in mind, the patient may be under sedation, so they may not be aware of what's going on. So they go through all that, the consent with them, the risk and benefits. Sometimes you may not come out of OR, depending on the complexity of the procedure. So the doctor goes through the consent with the patient, and and lets in his note, lets us know as coders whether or not the patient consented to have the procedure. And if we have the note, then the patient actually consented to have the procedure performed. So then next, the doctor proceeds to tell us, storytell, to be honest, step by step, play by play, what transpired during that OR session from the beginning to the end. They tell you how the patient was positioned. They tell you how they entered the body cavity. They tell you how they maneuver through the body cavity. They tell you, once they're finished, if there are any instruments, or tubes that were removed, they tell you about that as well. So, and then they tell you how they close out the body cavity. And then they tell you how they transported the patient to recovery. So those are all the different parts that comes with an operative report. Again, the most important part to me is the body of the note, the storytelling part, because again, the doctor is giving you play by play, step by step as to what occurred during that session, from how the patient entered, how the patient was lying, placed on the table, the OR table, how they entered the body, what instruments, what tools entered the body, who participated in the entry of the body, what transpired during that entrance of the body, how it ended, where did they send the patient to, what was the status of the patient when the procedure was completed. So again, it is important to read beyond the title or the heading of an operative report. So if it's documented that a colonoscopy was performed, it is imperative to read through the note to see if anything has changed. Because there are examples where it may have been a laparoscopic procedure or started out as a laparoscopic procedure, but then it converted to open because the patient may have had some adhesions there from a previous surgery. They may have to spend an extra amount of time removing the adhesions in order to do the actual surgery that the patient was originally scheduled for. So all these things transpire during the storytelling part or the body of the operative report. So again, to answer your question, can I skip that? No. As far as like the length, is there a required length for an operative report? Again, that answer is no, because it depends on what type of procedure or surgery that is being performed. Again, when you have a very complex procedure, it may require more hands-on. It may require a co-surgeon. It may require an assistant surgeon. It may require an anesthesiologist. It may require, it require so many hands in. It could be one surgeon in first, and then the next surgeon come in to do his or her part, and then the other surgeon may come back in, or it could be numerous things or reasons why the operative report is lengthy. Again, the doctor is going in based on perhaps diagnostic tests such as radiology, x-rays, lab results, but they really don't know until they actually get in there to see what they see. And that may change the diagnosis. Of course, it may change the procedure. So again, it is imperative that you read through the operative report very carefully in order to make the right selection for your codes. Again, as it relates to your diagnoses, we talk about modifiers, as well as your CPT, or in the case of inpatient and facility coders, your ICD-10 PCS codes. So we have performed the basic dissection of an operative report. So we are done. We're going to get cleaned up, and we have a successful coder and a successful surgical encounter that has been coded by you, the surgery coder. So stay tuned. If you're new to this channel, like, subscribe, and share and comment. If you like what you see, if you want more of the surgical coding, leave a comment. So that's all we have for this video. Until next time, code on.